You've probably seen the headlines. Traffic volume is down, vehicle speeds are up, and speeding crashes are almost a pandemic in themselves. You might start to think that most everybody on the road is speeding. But is that really true? I wanted to find out, so I borrowed a speed measuring device, also known as radar gun, and I headed out to where I thought might be a good location for speeding drivers. I'm in the 2300 block of Birch Bay Linden Road. It's flat, straight, and wide, and there are no stop signs for a couple miles in either direction. Kind of ideal if you're somebody who wants to speed. The speed limit on this road is 50 miles an hour. For this non-scientific study, I'm going to point the radar gun at the next 100 cars and see what we get. I tracked 158 vehicles, and nearly all of them were clustered within a few miles an hour of the speed limit. The dangerous speeders, and let's define that as drivers doing 10 miles an hour or more over the speed limit, made up, in my experiment, less than 2% of the drivers. Even drivers going more than 5 miles an hour over the speed limit made up less than 8% of the total traffic. But speeding is a factor in 31% of fatal crashes in Washington. Speeding isn't a bad idea because it's against the law. It's against the law because it's a bad idea. Two big reasons it's a bad idea: reaction time and physics. We'll start with reaction time. The faster you drive, the less time you have between when you notice a hazard and when you hit it. And we're not very good at noticing things at high speed. Once you do notice a hazard, there's the time it takes to stop to avoid it. Braking distance increases with speed, obviously, but it's not a direct correlation. As speed increases, braking distance increases even more. Take a look at this chart. Stopping distance is a combination of your reaction time and how long it takes your car to come to a stop once you apply the brakes. At 70 miles per hour, your braking distance is nearly double the braking distance at 50 miles per hour. And overall stopping distance nearly triples when you double your speed. And then there's physics. Even if speeding didn't increase the frequency of crashes, and it does, speed on impact determines your outcome. The relationship between speed and impact force is exponential. For example, a collision at 60 miles per hour has 4 times the impact force of a collision at 30 miles per hour. There are limits as to how much impact force a human can sustain, and high-speed crashes easily surpass those limits. The data show that by the time you approach 50 miles per hour, your risk of a driver fatality in a front-end collision is beyond 50-50. At 70 miles per hour, it's pretty much a guarantee. So what about the few people who are out there speeding? I've heard rumors that because of COVID-19, police aren't making traffic stops anymore. That didn't sound right to me, so I asked them myself.
You know, there's a belief out there that everyone is speeding nowadays, and we found that that's just not the case. And in fact, we found that most drivers in our county are driving safely, and they're driving within the speed limit and they're following the traffic laws. But unfortunately, there are a few people that choose to drive dangerously, and we found that those are the people that are causing the collisions here in Whatcom County. So if you're one of those drivers that follow the traffic laws and obey the speed limit, thank you. But if you're one of those people that choose to drive dangerously, we'll be looking for you.
The traffic division of the Bellingham Police Department has one major goal, and that is crash reduction. We do that through a variety of ways, one of which is through enforcement, and one of which is through education. Those things typically come from stops where we stop you for speeding, we stop you for having your cell phone in your hand, and we're not talking about 2 or 3 miles an hour over the speed limit. We're talking about the folks that are driving recklessly, that are driving very carelessly, and that putting you or your loved ones in danger. So if you are one of those folks that's driving dangerously, our educational tool for you will probably be a citation. So, fair warning.